What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So the main appeal from Kengan is the insanely interesting and intense fights and the martial arts aspect throughout. So I'm here today to recommend 4 manga that will provide the same great experience. I hope you enjoy. So the first manga I have here goes by the name Holyland. It has the same martial arts aspect, but it tends to lean more on the realistic level of the martial arts as a whole, as Kengan does have that aspect, but Holyland is not as extreme and over the top as sometimes Kengan will get, such as in the Annihilation tournament with like Dr. Hanafusa like using his bones to fight and stuff like that. It doesn't go that extreme, but it tends to be more realistic on the martial arts aspect. And the author, who goes by the name Mori Kuji, probably butchered that name, who also wrote a manga called Suicide Island, if you have ever seen or read that, and is a close friend of Kentaro Miura, you know, is the absolute legend and the writer of Berserk. So Holyland, it features a character by the name Yu who has pretty much no place in society, and his peers constantly abuse him at school and find that he does not fit anywhere, so he's pretty much just an outcast. After this abuse, he decides to just pretty much stop going to school and ventures into the night to search for a safe haven where he'll be accepted. As he roams the street, he starts to believe that he has found this place in society and a way to gain acceptance from people around him. In a world of violence and broken laws, Yu takes up his fist in order to gain strength to protect himself, training and refining a single boxing punch. After honing his fist, meaning there's a lot of training throughout the show, he decides to go back to the streets and defend himself from street thugs, building a reputation as the thug hunter. And this reputation leads to many sorts of people coming at him to fight and see how he was able to gain this reputation and how strong he really is. The manga features fight after fight. Yu exchanges fists to find his place in a twisted dark society, following many people after many people as they keep coming to him, and he keeps getting stronger after he wins and wins and wins to finally reach the title of the manga, which is the Holy Land, the haven that he's so long looked for. The genres of the manga include action, martial arts, psychological, and seinen, so you can assume there's a lot of gore. The manga was finished in 2008 with 182 chapters, which made up 18 volumes, so it's a good read. The overall score on various websites, it's probably in the high range. It's more like the 8.30 to like 9 range as a whole on most websites I was able to find. The characters as a whole are very interesting. There's not many main characters throughout the series, but the ones that you do, you get developed quite a bit, and it's not like Berserk level writing, but the fighting part of it is very interesting, and you're a fan of Kengan, you'll definitely be a fan of Holyland. The next manga I'm talking about goes by the name Record of Ragnarok, or Shumetsu no Valkyrie. It's more on the extreme like Dragon Ball-esque level of martial arts and fighting, but more toned down, and the fights are just like probably one of the greatest. At times it gets better than the Kengan fights, and the fights in this are this greatness. The base of the story is pretty much, the whole story is about this one big tournament match thing. It's where a one-on-one showdown between gods and mankind. The story begins when the gods call a convention to decide whether to let humanity live or die and to settle on destroying humanity, but a Valkyrie comes in and poses a question to them of a battle to decide humanity's fate. 13 gods will fight against 13 human champions from any time in history in one-on-one battles to decide whether humanity lives or dies. So each chapter is either maybe 12 chapters, you would say, is part of one fight, and then it'll go straight on to the next fight. There's another other BS. You get some backstory developing the characters throughout the fights, which is very good. And the heroes or people representing humanity are actually real people like in our world, who are fictional people in our world, and then non-fiction people who are actually alive in our world representing them, such as ancient samurai, a whole lot of other people. There's even Adam from the Bible in there who represents humanity at one point, and then the gods, we have all these different gods such as Zeus, Thor. It's all the gods you can really think of. It's more Greek gods, and there's like Egyptian gods and Anubis and like a whole lot of stuff along those lines. So 13 matches always happen. Currently the chapter we've seen, I think 4 or 5 matches. I want to say we're up to the 4th match currently in the manga, I don't remember. The chapters are monthly, so it's a bit of a wait, which is a bit of a letdown, but the fights in it top tier. The art is just absolutely great throughout, and each fight you don't know who's going to win. It goes back and forward, absolute insanity. Sometimes it does get a bit extreme, like Dragon Ball-esque stuff where like characters moving next to the level or speed of light, but it tends to be more grounded, and with it being gods versus mankind, you can assume that it will be a bit extreme, but I highly recommend checking it out. It's not that many chapters at this point. I believe chapter 25 or 26 26 is the most recent chapter, I want to say. I may be wrong, but that's what I'm up to. I think I'm up to date for it currently, but I highly recommend checking out Record of Ragnarok. The fights are great, the people who represent humanity are great, such as, I'll spoil this little part, Jack the Ripper is the current fighter for humanity, and it's absolutely greatness, and he's versing Hercules, and this fight has been absolutely amazing. The genres include horror, mature, psychological, seinen, supernatural, and martial arts, so absolutely greatness. As I said before, monthly chapters, top tier art, probably my favorite manga on this video list next to Kengan, so highly recommend checking out Record of Ragnarok. The next manga I want to talk about is probably the most common anime that's recommended alongside Kengan, and it is Baki the Grappler. The story of it as a whole, there's no real like unique story to it, like an overall plot to the story, because it's really just based on fights, going fight to fight. But the only real plot of the whole story is Baki, the main character, trying to defeat his father in battle, Yujiro. So that's pretty much the whole basis of the story. That's the only continued plot throughout the story, along with the training. There's a lot of anime of it, there's a lot of different versions of the manga, so you probably have to look up like a guide of what to watch for that or read, so yeah. But from what I've seen, read and watched, the fights tend to be a bit more on the extreme and over the top level, with like people spitting out grenades at times, setting themselves on fire. And the one appeal of it is like sometimes the martial arts, because they explain it, they will be unrealistic, like it can't happen in our world, unlike the other manga I've talked about. But they will, like, for example, they'll punch something so hard and then they'll keep breaking their arm, but once they lose their arm they'll get more power, and like it gets a bit extreme where they end up fighting like mythic monsters at time, cavemen, and like it's a bit extreme or something. But the thing that keeps it grounded and unique is that they believe what's going on. Like they don't have any, they're self-aware of what's going on. They believe that whatever the people say and how they trained is actually true. Like this person who pretty much covered his hands in poisons for that long that he became immune, and then when he touches people they can just be instantly killed like that. Within the story it believes what's going on. That's the real appeal of it. The fights of it, great as a whole. The art in the manga tends to be grotesque sometimes, but I don't mind it myself. The muscles are very abnormal and exaggerated, but as a whole I don't mind the art. I find it very fun, and I just really enjoy it because you don't really need to think too hard when reading or watching Baki. You just enjoy the great one-on-one fights and just have some fun watching it. I'm sure everyone knows who watched my channel knows of Baki. I may be making some Baki videos or making Baki a regular to the channel soon, so if you want me to do that, make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments. And yep, if you haven't already, I highly recommend checking out Baki if you're a fan of Kengan. And the last manga I'll be talking about in today's video is the OG Dragon Ball manga, in particular the World Martial Art tournament in the manga. So everyone knows of like Dragon Ball Z, the power level scaling, destroying universes with single punches and so on so. But if you're really into martial arts manga, the OG Dragon Ball manga, in particular the tournament arcs, which is my personal favorite, are a very good showcase of the martial arts genre. Everyone knows what Dragon Ball is. I don't have no doubt in my mind that you don't know what Dragon Ball is. But not many people have actually read the OG Dragon Ball manga. I haven't read all of it. I personally only read the tournament arc and the King Piccolo stuff, so the world tournament. There's like 2 or 3 of them I want to say in the original Dragon Ball, so I've only read those and the King Piccolo part of the story. So I skipped all the Red Ribbon stuff. You can do that yourself. If you've seen the anime before, like I've already seen it, so I just wanted to read the manga version of it, and I can say it's actually really interesting and good to watch. The OG Dragon Ball manga martial arts tournaments are a lot more grounded in the early parts and more realistic elements of it. It's not like later on, and I say it's more realistic than stuff like Baki and Record of Ragnarok in the early stages. So if you're in for a more realistic, grounded experience, I highly recommend checking out the OG Dragon Ball tournament arcs. So yep, and those are pretty much the 4 manga I recommend reading if you're a fan of Kengan. If I had to order them from my personal favorite, I'll probably go Record of Ragnarok, Baki, Dragon Ball, and then Holy Land. But saying that, Holy Land is still great. I haven't personally read it all. I've only read the first 90 chapters, I want to say. There's still like 70 more left. But as a whole, the story is strong, art is great, and I hope you find a manga you will enjoy in this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to subscribe and join the Discord. The link will be in the description. And yep, that's it guys. Peace.